Hey guys, wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom Uvorach as we study together Parashat Vayigash, and we have an encounter this week between two legends. And I'm not talking about Yehuda and Yosef in the beginning of the Parashat. I'm talking about later on, where Yaakov Avinu meets Paro, and the only recorded conversation between the two goes as follows. Paro says to Yaakov, "My gosh, how old are you?" And Yaakov says, I look old, but I'm actually not as old as my father, as my grandfather. And then he goes on to bless Paro. And this whole conversation from beginning to end is so bizarre. I mean, the question, how old are you? It's such a rude question. Unless it's someone's birthday and you're singing it, you're not supposed to ask that question. And the response, I look old, but I'm not as old as my grandfather. Like, what does that have to do with anything? And then he blesses him. Why does he bless him? And many interpretations have been given to this. But Rabbi Beryl Wine has something fantastic. And what Paro is asking Yaakov, how old are you? How much longer do you think you got? How much longer do you think the Jewish people could last? Going around from country to country, getting kicked around, getting persecuted. You're coming to a place of slavery. You're coming to our place, to our culture. How long are you going to be able to hold on to your traditions, to your values, to your customs? And Yaakov says, it's a very good question. But actually, you're not the first guy to ask us that question. I'm not as old as my father, as my grandfather. I'm not the first Jew. We've been around for a very long time. And they said this to us, they said this to our parents, they said it to our grandparents. They said it in every single generation. And here we are repeating the story. Here we are able to say, you're not the first to ask us this question. And actually what Yaakov then goes on and he does, and he blesses Paro. And what he's saying to Paro is very deep. He's saying, actually Paro, you think you're going to outlast us? You're asking me? Au contraire, my friend, it's the exact opposite. I should ask you, because actually all the blessing comes to the Jewish people. And take a look historically. Every nation, wherever the Jewish people were, has been blessed. And the moment they expel, the moment they persecute, the moment they get rid of the Jewish people, the nation goes from top, powerful, to zero, to the bottom. Egypt. Once we left Egypt, who ever heard of them again? Egypt was just in history. It happened again with Rome, with the Greeks. It happened with Iraq, with Paras, with Persia. It happened in Europe. It happened in Spain. Wherever the Jewish people were, has received a tremendous amount of bracha. And Yaakov says to Paro, let me bless you. Don't forget Paro, who is the real blessing. And of course, Paro received a lot of blessing so long that Yaakov was alive. The Nile rose to his feet. And I think this is tremendous chizuk, my friends, for us, especially going through what we are right now, where we see so much hate, so much negativity. It feels like we're outnumbered. And once again, the world has stood up to the Jew and said, how much longer you think we're going to last? You think you're going to last? And we start wondering to ourselves, could we really outlast this? The numbers that are so against us. But we have to remember that it's not the first time, it's not the second time, and it's not going to be the last time. Bechol dor vador. And yet, my friends, here we are. Here we are to tell the story and to look at the Paro'os of the world and to say, never forget, because ultimately all the bracha comes because of the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom.